Hearing the mafia boss's shadow, I've had a special ability since childhood. I can hear shadows speak. My father and stepmother didn't believe me. They thought I was deliberately lying to get their attention. My stepsister, Lily, mocked me as a freak and rallied the girls at school to ostracize me. After graduating from college, Lily hooked up with the mafia boss. But on the eve of their wedding, the mafia boss was shot and fell into a coma. When he woke up, his memories were stuck at age 10. Lily immediately called off the engagement. Make me marry an idiot? Absolutely not. I'd rather die than marry him. Facing the mafia boss's armed family downstairs, my father fell into despair. Just then, I heard the mafia boss's shadow speak. That bitch Lily. The doctor said my amnesia is only temporary. With proper care, I'll recover in 3 months. I already bought her an island and a villa, planning to give them to her as gifts. Guess she doesn't need them now. Once I recover, I'm going to kill her. When I heard about the island and villa, my eyes lit up. I took the initiative and said to my father, Dad, I'm willing to marry him in her place. Lily, who normally bullied me relentlessly, rushed over and hugged me when she heard I'd take her place. Luna, you're really willing. I nodded. She hugged me tighter. That is more like it. I've always been so good to you. Always looked after you at school. Now you're marrying him in my place. It is only right. Besides, it is not like any man wants you anyway. Even though Jason has become an idiot, he is handsome and has a great body. You're not losing anything by marrying him. She glanced at Jason standing by the door, and licked her lips. Honestly, I'm a little reluctant to let him go. I pushed her away without retorting, getting away from this family and earning an island and a villa. I really wasn't losing anything. But Jason's shadow was already trembling with rage. Lily, you always pretended to be pure and gentle. Always said your sister Luna bullied you. Turns out it was all lies. You're the vicious one. If I weren't just a shadow, I'd strangle you right now. I shrugged and went downstairs to invite Mrs. Grant to tea, then said to her, I'm the Grant family's eldest daughter. If you don't mind, I'm willing to marry Jason in my sister's place. Mrs. Grant's face had been filled with worry. After Jason was shot, they announced to the outside world that he would recover quickly. If he got dumped at this critical moment, other mafia factions would think Jason was down and the Grant family was finished. They'd move to absorb their territory. I had clearly become the Grant family's lifeline. Mrs. Grant grabbed my hand excitedly. You're really willing. But Jason hasn't recovered his memory yet, so we can't hold a wedding ceremony. As long as you take good care of him and fulfill your duties as a wife, when he wakes up, I'll definitely give you a generous gift. I nodded obediently. I'm very good at taking care of people. I've been tutoring since I was 16 to earn my tuition. Jason's shadow said in surprise, her family isn't poor though. Why would she need to earn her own tuition? I pretended not to hear the shadow's words, and worked hard to sell myself. I can also teach music. I'm very patient. My stepmother eagerly chimed in. That is right. Luna was born to serve people. She can also do laundry and cook. Having her take care of Jason is perfect. I agree to this marriage. You should take her back right away. My stepmother threw me out the door like discarding trash. Unable to wait another moment, and my father as always let my stepmother bully me without intervention. Jason's mother smiled, then stood up and said to me, Come with us. Don't bother bringing luggage. I'll have the servants prepare new things for you. At that moment, Jason actually came over on his own, took my hand and said, You're my wife. I want you to build Legos with me. The moment I walked out the door, Lily's shrill mocking voice came from behind. A freak and an idiot. A perfect match. Jason's shadow cursed. That bitch Lily. When I wake up, I'm giving Luna 10 million immediately, just to piss Lily off. After returning to the Grant house, Mrs. Grant wiped away tears sadly. Jason was shot in the head. It is a miracle. He is even alive, but the doctor said as long as he is well cared for and given enough affection, he can recover his memory in 3 months. But if he suffers another shock, he might stay like this forever. I was going to tell Lily this, but she was so heartless. She refused before I could even finish. Luna, during this time, you must take good care of Jason. Nothing can go wrong. What Mrs. Grant meant was that I needed to stay by his side to help awaken his memories. At the same time, Jason's current condition couldn't be seen by outsiders. She was busy fending off attacks from competitors, so she needed someone trustworthy to stay with Jason 24 hours a day. Jason's shadow side. I thought Lily would stand by me through thick and thin, but she completely broke my heart. I wonder if Luna will be the same as Lily. I smiled slightly. Then I brought Jason, who only had memories up to age 10, to the study. Didn't you want me to build Legos with you? Yes. Jason, who was 6 feet 3 inches with an 8-pack, actually showed an innocent smile. I tapped his chest, then said, I can keep you company but on one condition. After we finish the Legos, you have to let me read to you. This was also what Jason's mother had instructed. Read him company financial reports, political and economic books. It would help him recover his memory faster. Then I heard the shadow's praise. Seems like she is more reliable than Lily, but I need to keep observing. I started competing with Jason to build Legos. Unsurprisingly, I won. Then I took out finance books and history books and started reading to him. The shadow sighed again. That Lily has reading disabilities. I didn't expect Luna to be so smart. She even understands finance books and can analyze international situations. I wonder what other surprises she has that I don't know about. I smiled secretly. It seemed I'd already won his initial trust. The next day, even Jason's mother looked at me with new eyes. I had just finished shaving Jason's beard, making him look much more refreshed. A newly released movie was playing on TV, and I'd explain things to him from time to time. Jason liked pineapple smoothies, so I made them for him. Jason's mother said, since his memory got stuck at age 10, he has never been this well behaved. On the second night, after I finished reading to Jason, he insisted I stay. My bed is huge. Just sleep next to me. My face turned red. If I didn't know he hadn't recovered his memory yet, I might have actually fallen for him. Before turning off the lights, I secretly glanced at his shadow. The shadow was in a good mood. This Luna really is pretty good. Once my body fully recovers, I'll definitely give her a grand wedding and make her my real wife. My face turned even redder. I hugged my blanket and lay down beside him, quickly hearing his even breathing. That night, I slept very well. Later, while I was taking care of Jason, his shadow kept talking to itself. How does Luna know I love Italian opera? Looks like she did her homework. Not bad. The company's stock price went up. Looks like the crisis is over. She is just like my mom. When I was little, my mom also made me eat carrots. Ah, this carrot cake smells so good. Too bad, I'm just a shadow. Under my care in less than a month, Jason recovered some of his memories. But his memories were confused. Sometimes he was like a 10-year-old child. Sometimes he suddenly became 20 years old, and acted like he didn't know me at all. One afternoon, I had just washed my hair and was blow-drying it, when he suddenly had the expression of an adult and asked me, "Who are you? Why are you in my bathroom?" I was startled. I wanted to explain to him, but then I remembered the doctor had warned that he couldn't be shocked at all during these 3 months. So I answered, "I'm a new maid your mother hired." "How come?" "I don't know about this." Jason grabbed my wrist and moved closer. I heard his shadow say anxiously, "This idiot. That is your wife. You're hurting your wife. Let go of her right now." I explained to Jason. "My family kicked me out, and Mrs. Grant kindly took me in. Please don't fire me. I have nowhere else to go." Jason's expression softened. After warning me, he let go of my hand and said, "This is my private bathroom. Don't come here anymore." After hearing his words, the shadow got even angrier. "If you can't speak properly, just shut up. She is your wife. You two will be showering together in the future." Hearing the shadow's complaint, images of us showering together quickly flashed through my mind, making my face burn. I said to Jason, "I'm sorry, Mr. Grant. I'm new here, and don't know the rules. I promise I won't come to your private bathroom again." After saying that, I hurried away with my head down. Later, during a hospital checkup, the doctor said excitedly, "Mr. Grant is recovering faster than expected. His memory is gradually returning. As for the memory confusion, it should stabilize in about a week." Jason's mother gripped my hand excitedly. "Thank you, Luna. After he recovers next week, I'm going to throw a party to show all our competitors that Jason is in top form. News of Jason's recovery somehow reached Lily's ears. One afternoon, Lily suddenly came to see me. She glanced at Jason, sitting on the lawn making butterfly specimens, then roughly dragged me to a corner. I heard Jason is going to recover his memory. He still looks like a 10-year-old idiot to me. I sneered. Why do you care so much about my husband? Lily slapped me across the face. Your husband? Lily pointed at my nose and warned me. If Jason really does recover, you better get lost. I'm the woman Jason truly loves anyway. The shadow in the distance saw me getting bullied and roared. Bitch. How dare you hit my wife? Luna, fight back. Once I say my body and memory fully recover, I'm definitely not marrying you. The only wife I recognize is Luna. After saying this, he paused. But speaking of which, after I recover, will I be able to keep my recent memories? What if I forget everything? Oh no. What if my body really forgets and thinks Lily was the one who took care of me? What should I do? I'm just a shadow. How can I tell myself? Rubbing my cheek. I felt equally anxious. If Jason really married Lily after this, not only would my island and villa be gone, but Lily would take crazy revenge on me. The shadow quickly said, I almost forgot about my mom. She already knows Lily is a bitch. And she knows Luna is already my wife. No matter whether I remember Luna in the future or not, my mom definitely won't let me marry Lily. But unexpectedly Lily thought of this too. She immediately went to find Mrs. Grant. You know how much Jason loves me. I didn't want to break off the engagement before. My parents forced me to. Today I secretly came to see you, because I want to tell you that I've always loved Jason. Please give me another chance. Let me stay by Jason's side and take care of him. After speaking, Lily actually knelt down crying. And Mrs. Grant actually seemed to waver. She consulted with me awkwardly. Luna, you've worked hard during this time. But Jason really did love Lily before. And Lily has always been a kind girl. Maybe she really was forced by your parents to break off the engagement. How about you just let them be together? Don't worry. I'll give you a generous bonus and a villa. Seeing me nod obediently, the shadow exploded. Luna, can you have some backbone? Why are you handing over your achievements to someone else? I sighed. If Jason liked Lily, what was the point of fighting for him? I might as well take the money and quickly leave this place to live a peaceful life. The shadow lamented in frustration. Forget it. I can't count on anyone. I'll just have to work hard to retain these memories myself. After Lily won over Mrs. Grant to be safe, she released news to the media early. My wedding with Mr. Jason Grant will be held next month. Everyone outside thought it was Lily's devoted companionship that created Jason's miraculous recovery. It was time to go to the hospital for rehabilitation treatment again. The doctor said this should be the last treatment. If this treatment goes smoothly, Mr. Grant will fully recover. And the shadow started getting anxious. Luna, I hope after this treatment, my damn brain can remember everything between us. I clasped my hands together. I hoped for the same, but none of this was under my control. Lily stood beside me and mocked her. I'll become Jason's real wife. After a long wait, when Jason walked out of the treatment room, although his appearance hadn't changed, his eyes were completely different. They were sharp and fierce with a cold edge. I thought, this is it. He definitely doesn't remember me. Lily eagerly rushed over. Jason, you finally recovered. I'm Lily, the one you love most. Do you know how sad and scared I've been these 3 months? For some reason, I felt a sourness in my heart, even jealousy. Dejected, I was about to leave. The next second, Jason suddenly spoke. Lily. His voice was calm. Too calm. Lily's face lit up with joy. I knew it. Jason, I knew you'd remember me. She threw herself toward him. Jason took one step to the side. Lily nearly stumbled. The smile froze on her face. Jason looked at her the same way a person might look at a stranger asking for money on the street. Then he asked coldly, who gave you permission to touch me? The entire hallway fell silent. Lily blinked. What? Mrs. Grant looked confused. Even the doctor stopped writing. Jason's gaze shifted slowly toward me. For a moment neither of us spoke. My heart started pounding. Then he smiled. Not the innocent smile of the 10-year-old Jason. Not the confused smile of the recovering Jason. The real Jason. The dangerous one. The man who controlled half the city. My wife. I froze. Mrs. Grant froze. The doctor nearly dropped his clipboard. Jason walked directly toward me. Then he reached out and gently touched the fading mark on my cheek. The one Lily had left. His expression darkened instantly. Who hit her? The temperature in the hallway seemed to drop 10 degrees. Lily's face went white. Jason, I can explain. You. His eyes locked onto her. You hit her. Lily began trembling. I wasn't. You hit my wife. Every word sounded like a death sentence. Mrs. Grant suddenly remembered something. Lily said Luna bullied her for years. Jason laughed. It wasn't a pleasant sound. It was the kind of laugh that made bodyguards straighten their backs. I investigated that months ago. Everyone stared at him. Jason continued. Did you really think I was stupid enough to marry someone without conducting a background check? Lily's knees nearly gave out. I know every teacher you bribed. I know every classmate you manipulated. I know every rumor you spread about Luna. I know you stole her scholarship recommendation. I know you destroyed her violin before her competition. I know you forged messages using her phone. Each sentence struck like a hammer. My father and stepmother's faces drained of color. Jason wasn't finished. And after I was shot, you abandoned me before the doctors even finished explaining my condition. Lily started crying. I was scared. Good. Jason's voice was icy. You should be. For the first time in months, I wished I could hear his shadow. Then I realized I didn't need to. Everything the shadow had wanted to say was finally coming out of Jason's own mouth. Mrs. Grant suddenly stood. Security. For bodyguards immediately appeared. Lily panicked. Wait. Mrs. Grant. I love him. Mrs. Grant looked disgusted. No. You loved his money. The bodyguards grabbed Lily by the arms. She screamed. My stepmother rushed forward. Please. She's young. She made mistakes. Jason looked at her. And what about Luna? My stepmother froze. For years she had always had an answer. This time she had none. Jason continued. When Luna was paying her own tuition, where were you? Silence. When Luna was being bullied, where were you? Silence. When Luna was taking care of me day and night, where were you? More silence. My father lowered his head in shame. Jason turned toward him. And you? My father flinched. You watched all of it happen. For the first time in my life, I saw my father unable to meet someone's eyes. Security dragged Lily away, while she screamed my name. Luna. This should have been mine. He's mine. I was supposed to be Mrs. Grant. Her voice disappeared down the hallway. And just like that, she was gone. A week later, Jason held a massive banquet. The entire city attended. Politicians. Business leaders. Mafia families. Everyone. The rumors about his recovery had spread everywhere. The moment Jason entered the ballroom with me on his arm, cameras exploded with flashes. Then Jason made an announcement. A very public announcement. I would like everyone here to meet my wife, Luna Grant. The room erupted. Wife. They were already married? Nobody had known. Jason wrapped an arm around my waist. And I would also like to announce that every company and individual who supported the lies spread against my wife has exactly 24 hours to issue a public apology. The room immediately became very interested in apologizing. Very interested. Remarkably interested. By the next morning, social media was overflowing with apologies. 3 days later, another surprise arrived. Jason handed me a folder. I opened it. Inside was the deed to a private island. My eyes widened. Then I saw a second document. A luxury villa overlooking the ocean. My hands started shaking. You remembered. Jason smiled. Of course I remembered. Then he leaned closer. I also remembered promising myself $10 million. My head snapped up. What? Jason laughed. You heard that too, didn't you? My heart stopped. For the first time since meeting him, Genuine shock hit me. He knew. He knew about the shadows. Jason lowered his voice. When I was unconscious, I couldn't move. I couldn't speak. But sometimes, his eyes softened. I could hear someone talking. My breath caught. I heard you reading to me. I heard you explaining movies. I heard you complaining about my snoring. My face turned bright red. Jason looked amused. I even heard you threaten to sell my Lego collection if I didn't wake up. I was motivating you. He laughed harder. Then his expression became serious. Luna. The ballroom disappeared. The noise disappeared. It felt like only the two of us existed. Everyone else saw an idiot. You saw me. His hand found mine. You stayed when nobody else would. I felt tears gathering in my eyes. Then Jason dropped to one knee. The entire ballroom gasped. I know we're already married. But I'd like to do this properly. He opened a small velvet box. Inside was the most beautiful ring I'd ever seen. Luna. His voice was steady. Will you marry me again? I started laughing through my tears. Then I nodded. Yes. The ballroom exploded into applause. Later that night, after the party ended, we stood together on the balcony overlooking the city. For years, hearing shadows had only brought me pain, fear, loneliness. But as Jason wrapped his arms around me, I noticed something strange. I couldn't hear his shadow anymore. Not a single word. I frowned. That's odd. Jason looked down at me. What is? I smiled. Nothing. Because right now I didn't need shadows to tell me how someone felt about me. The man himself was holding me tightly enough that I already knew. A month after our second wedding, I thought the story was over. I was wrong. Because karma apparently looked at my family and decided. Not enough. It started with Lily. After Jason publicly exposed everything she had done, nobody wanted anything to do with her. Her influencer contracts vanished. Her sponsorships vanished. Her friends vanished. Even the women who used to follow her around like ducklings suddenly developed amnesia. I barely know Lily. We were never close. Who? The internet was ruthless. People dug up years of evidence. Former classmates came forward. Teachers came forward. Even old neighbors started sharing stories. Every lie she'd ever told came crawling back out of the grave. One morning she posted a tearful video claiming she was the victim. Unfortunately for her, she accidentally uploaded the unedited version first. The video began with, "Do I look sad enough?" Then she practiced crying in front of the camera for 3 full minutes. The internet turned it into a meme within hours. The video reached 30 million views. Not the way she'd hoped. Meanwhile, my stepmother was desperately trying to save the family. She had always lived beyond her means. Designer handbags, luxury cars, private clubs, all funded by my father's money. And my father's money came from one source. Business connections. The same connections Jason quietly erased. Nobody wanted to work with a man who allowed his daughter to be abused for years. Contracts disappeared. Loans got recalled. Investors fled. Within 6 months my father's company collapsed. The bank repossessed everything. The mansion. The cars. The vacation properties. Even the fancy wine collection my stepmother treated like family members. The day movers arrived, she reportedly hugged a refrigerator and refused to let go. The refrigerator won. Then things got weirder. Much weirder. Because my family became convinced all their problems were somehow my fault. Their choices. Their lies. Their greed. One evening they decided to break into my old apartment. Apparently they believed I'd hidden money there. The apartment had been empty for months. But that didn't stop them. Lily climbed through a window. My father followed. My stepmother followed. The floor collapsed. All 3 fell into the apartment below. Nobody died. But all 3 ended up in the hospital. Together. In the same room. For weeks. The nurses called them the family package. I laughed for 10 straight minutes when I heard. Jason laughed for 15. Then came the final disaster. The one nobody could have predicted. After losing everything, Lily became obsessed with finding a wealthy replacement for Jason. She found an elderly billionaire online. Or so she thought. She spent months showing off her new relationship. Posted flowers. Posted gifts. Posted screenshots. Posted engagement photos. Then the billionaire's family saw the posts. Turns out he wasn't a billionaire. He was a retired accountant. 78 years old. Living in a small apartment. And completely confused about why strangers thought he was engaged. The engagement ring? Cost $12. The flowers? Sent by his daughter. The luxury gifts? Photos stolen from social media. The entire relationship existed only inside Lily's imagination. The story hit the news. National news. For weeks people referred to her as the imaginary fiancé. She never recovered from the humiliation. But karma still wasn't finished. One rainy evening my father showed up at the Grant estate. Older. Thinner. Broken. For the first time in his life he looked like a man who understood what he'd done. He asked to speak with me. Jason wanted to throw him out. I agreed to listen. My father sat across from me for a long time, before speaking. You were always a good daughter. I said nothing. His eyes turned red. I just kept choosing the wrong people. Still nothing. Then he started crying. Not the dramatic fake crying my stepmother and Lily used. Real crying. The kind that comes from realizing you've destroyed your own life. I should have protected you. I stared at him quietly. You should have. He nodded. Then left. That was the last time I ever saw him. A few months later he moved away. Nobody seemed to know where. As for my stepmother and Lily, their ending became almost legendary. They spent years trying one scheme after another. Get-rich-quick plans. Fake businesses. Online scams. Questionable investments. Every single one failed. Spectacularly. It became almost supernatural. If they touched a business, it collapsed. If they bought stock, it crashed. If they opened a store, customers vanished. People started joking they were cursed. Honestly, I started wondering too. Years later, when I was sitting on the balcony of my island villa watching the sunset, Jason wrapped his arms around me from behind. You know, he said. What? I think your family spent so much time digging holes for other people. He pointed toward the horizon. That eventually they forgot they were standing in one. I smiled. Far away, somewhere beyond the ocean, Lily and my stepmother were probably still blaming everyone except themselves. Still insisting life had treated them unfairly. Still refusing to learn. And the strange thing was I no longer cared. Because some people destroy themselves so thoroughly that revenge becomes unnecessary. All you have to do is step aside. And watch. The rest takes care of itself.